Good morning, friends. So today we are going to be working on a new topic. We're going to be learning about a new topic, and it's called the properties of matter. So the properties of matter are the physical characteristics that describe certain objects, and we're going to be learning about that today, okay? Let's go over our objectives. So our objective is the learner will recognize the different physical properties of matter. They will complete a hands-on activity where they will sort images of objects into groups based on the physical characteristics they observe. So for us to figure out what the physical properties of matter are, we have to observe an object. We have to see it. We can touch it. But this is how we find out what the physical properties of matter are, okay? So to get started, I have a KWL chart paper, and we've worked on these before, so you should know how to use one, right? So I want you guys to fill out the K and the W, but first we have to do the K. So what you know about physical characteristics, okay? What we know is that physical characteristics are what we use to describe us, right? So, for example, what is heavier, a balloon or an elephant? We know a balloon is about this size, right? And an elephant is huge, right? So, an elephant is a big animal. So, what do we know about those two things? Which one is heavier? If you look at a balloon and you look at an elephant, what do you think is heavier? An elephant, right? Yeah, an elephant is heavier because they are huge. They weigh a ton, right? And a balloon is filled with air, which, it doesn't weigh anything, right? So that's what we know. That's what a physical characteristic is. It's something that describes certain objects, right? So let's start working on the K part, what you know. So I'll give you some time to work on that, and then we'll move on to the W part, what you want to know, okay? So get started on that, start working on that, and then we'll move on, okay? All right, now get started working on what you want to know. What do you want to know about the physical characteristics? Think. What do you want to know? There's certain things that you might want to know, learn about. The physical characteristics may be of your dog or your cat, Write things down that you want to know, okay? That you want to know. Okay, now that we're done with that, we're going to move on, and I am going to show you guys a video. Okay, we're going to watch a quick video about the physical properties of materials, and I'm going to play this video for you guys, and I want you to watch, okay? And put your listening ears on, and I want your eyes on the screen. I'm going to turn off the lights, but I don't want anyone to put their head down. We need to watch this video, okay? All right. So we're done with the video. And now what we're going to do is I have picked out two things from our classroom, two different objects. So our first object is Mr. Elephant from our reading center. You think he's so cute, Mr. Elephant, and a block, okay? So these are the two things we are going to write the physical characteristics, okay? We're going to write the physical characteristics of these two objects, okay? So we're going to make a quick list. So our list, right? So our first item is an elephant. And then we have, what is a block? Okay. So we're going to make a list of the physical characteristics that describe these objects, okay? So let's start with Mr. Elephant. What is a good characteristic that describes this elephant? Let's look at him. So like before, we did the balloon and the real elephant. So this is a pretend elephant. But what are some things that you see about this elephant? He's gray, right? So gray is a type of physical characteristic. The color of something is a physical characteristic. Okay, so he's gray. What else do we see? Do I struggle to pick him up? Do you think he's heavy or is he light? I agree, Oliver. He's light, okay? So light is a physical characteristic when something is light. That is the mass of something. What something weighs, okay? What's another thing? If you were to touch Mr. Elephant, do you think he'll be rough? Do you think he'll be soft? Or do you think he'll be pointy? What do you think? If you touch Mr. Elephant, he's soft, right? Because you can cuddle with him. He's soft. Okay, right? So he's soft. These are physical characteristics of an elephant. Is he big like a real elephant, or is he small? What do you think? Is he big? No, he's small. So that is another physical characteristic or property of an elephant, okay? So next we have our block, okay? So let's see. We know the elephant is gray. What color is our triangle? Right, it's red. So our block is red. Another physical property. What kind of shape is this? A triangle. So that is another physical property of matter, a triangle. It's another physical property of this object. You know, it's a triangle, it's red. Do you think it's heavy or light? What do you think? Light, right? I don't struggle to pick it up. It's not heavy. We can all pick this up. What about if you feel it, what do you think it feels like? Here, I'll pass it around and I want you guys to feel it. Good, Olivia. It's smooth. I like that. Smooth. Right. Okay. I think that's enough for our list. Let's move on. So this is just a little example of what we're going to be learning today, okay? So we'll move that to the side, and then we are going to get started and take a look at our anchor chart, okay? So here is more examples of the physical properties of matter, okay? So I've created this anchor chart, and it lists the different properties of matter, which are the different characteristics, physical characteristics of matter, right? So there's 5 of them that we have on here. So the first one is size, then we have shape, texture, mass, and color. So let's start with size. So like we just learned, a real elephant can be big, right? Something big. And this elephant is small, right? So small and big are the size of something. Something that is thick and something that is thin. So if you see here, I have a thick line and a thin line. Another size characteristic is something that is long and something that is small. Long, short. I'm sorry, I meant short. So something that is long and something that is short, right? And then we have something that is, and then fat. That is another way of describing something, right? So let's move on to shape. So for shapes, we have lots of shapes on here. And I have octagon, a rectangle. We all know what a rectangle is. A cone. I'm sure all of you have had a cone with ice cream. Yum. A trapezoid, an oval, a hexagon, a square, a triangle like our block, right? Our triangle, a circle like the sun, and a heart, a beautiful heart, right? So these are all shapes, and these are things that describe an object, okay? So next we have mass. So for mass, we have the word light and heavy. So something that is light, so here I drew a picture of a feather because a feather is very light. It doesn't weigh anything, right? So it's very light. And something that is heavy. So here I drew weight. It says 5 pounds, and it's something that you pick up and it's heavy, a weight, right? And then next we have texture. So texture can be described in many different ways. So here we have bumpy, something that is bumpy. Maybe you drive on a road and it's bumpy because there's lots of rocks. That's something that is bumpy. Smooth. So let's say this glass, right? If we were to touch it, it's smooth, right? It's smooth. right? Okay, so that is a physical property, a physical characteristic, something that is rough. So if you go outside and you might step on the concrete and you touch it with your fingers, sometimes it's a rough because all those little particles are mixed together and it's not so smooth. It's pretty rough. Or a road. If you were to touch a road, it's pretty rough. Something that is hard. So if you go outside, maybe your house is made out of brick. That is something that is hard because a brick is very, very hard. Next, we have something that is soft, like Mr. Elephant. He's so soft and squishy. He's very soft. So that's another way of describing Mr. Elephant. And something that is pointy. So something with spikes. Something that has spikes, that's something that is pointy. Next, and finally, we have color. So color, there's lots of colors. There's so many colors, but I only listed a few, okay? Just so you can remember that colors is a way of describing certain things, okay? That's a physical characteristic, properties of matter. So here's my list of colors. So we have purple, green, orange, black, brown, pink, red, yellow, gray, and white. So these are the colors that I have here. I know there's so many colors, but these are the ones that I have listed today, okay? So I'm going to leave this up here, and we are going to move on to our activity, okay? So I want you guys to go back to your desks, to your tables, and I have set out an activity for us to do today. So on your table, you are going to find you're going to find little cards that have different objects on them, right? Little cards have different pictures of certain objects, and then it has what that object is, so the word of that object. And then I have two big cards, one that says big and one that says small. Everyone has this, okay? And I want you guys to work in groups, or you can try it on your own. It's up to you, okay? You can work in pairs. It's up to you, okay? So the big and the small. So you're going to use the small cards and you're going to put them on top of what you think describes that object on the card, okay? The picture on the card. So you're either going to put it on the big card, on the big side, or you're going to put it on the small side, okay? So you guys get started on that. Go back to your desk, and then I'm going to walk around and I'm going to, be here if you need my help, okay? So get started on that. And I'm going to be walking around, okay? Okay. Okay, and if you're done sorting out your cards, I have a different paper. Once you're done sorting out your cards, I have this worksheet that you guys are going to work on. So at the beginning I said that each small card has the name of that object, right? It has the letters, the word written down there. I want you guys to use that worksheet that I just handed out and you're going to write down each object that went either on the big card, on the big side, or the small side, okay? So I want you guys to use those small words, those small cards, and copy that word onto your paper, okay? You're going to work on this with a partner or on your own, okay? You can't work as a group. I want you guys to work as partners or by yourself individually, okay? So get started on that as well if you're done sorting out your cards, okay? All right, before I forget, this is going to stay up here just so you can look at it, and it's going to stay up here for the rest of the week because we're going to be learning about this more in depth. So today we kind of only stayed within this range, the size, right? The size of things, because today we're comparing the small and big objects, but tomorrow we might do the different shapes of certain objects, okay? So today we're staying within this, but this is going to stay up for the rest of the week and we're going to work on it together, okay? I just kind of wanted to show you guys what the properties of matter were before we move on to the next couple of days, okay? So, okay, now that we're all done with all of those things, the worksheet, I want you guys to put them in a pile for me, and I'm going to pass by and pick those up. But I want Mia and Oliver to hand out these exit tickets, okay? So I'm going to hand these out to each table, okay? And I want you guys to take out a pencil and write your name at the top and the date. Today is April 29th, 2022, okay? So I want you guys to write your name and the date, okay? And then you have 5 minutes to work on your exit ticket. And once you're finished, you can grab your library book and start reading that. I don't want anyone talking. I want you guys to work on your exit ticket, okay? And then I will pass by and pick those up, okay? So finish that up, and then that concludes today's lesson, okay? But this is going to stay up for the rest of the week. And great job, everyone.